Good. Yeah. Okay, I'll let you know. Okay. Okay. Hello, I'm comedian Dave Testroe from Dubuque, Iowa. I'm working my way to being a professional comedian. I hope it's what I really want to do. I'm from Dubuque, like I said originally. I'm 23 years old, grew up here all those years, and I like Dubuque sometimes, and I imagine with everybody you get a little tired of every city. It's not as bad as they make it out to be, though. But now, like I said, I grew up in Dubuque, and yeah. Keep it rolling, I'll just go on, okay? Hello, I'm comedian Dave Testroe from Dubuque, Iowa. I'm working to be a professional comedian. Right now I'm just in the middle of amateur and professional, and I'm here tonight to make you laugh. I'll let you know a little about myself. Last October I went to Hollywood, California, did the Hollywood Comedy Store, and then I also played the Comedy Store in La Jolla, California, which is in San Diego, and I did a show for the Playboy channel there. I'm not rich and famous yet. I just got rid of... I'm not rich. One more time, that's it. I'm ready. You ready? Okay. Hello, I'm Dave Testroe. Hello, I'm comedian Dave Testroe from Dubuque, Iowa. I'm a native of Dubuque, been here for 23 years. I'm trying to work my way up to be a professional comedian right now. And hopefully somebody someday will like me. Last October, I went to California, performed in the Hollywood Comedy Store. Yeah, I know how to talk too. The Hollywood Comedy Store, performed in the La Jolla Comedy Store in San Diego, La Jolla, whatever, same place. And I also did a show for the Playboy channel, and I won a contest out of Julian not too long ago, the funniest person in Dubuque contest. So if you ever see me around or being advertised, come on out and see me live anyway. But anyway, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Dubuque, because like I said, I grew up in Dubuque. Yeah, I remember being a kid. I was always fat when I was a kid, like I am right now. You know, good old Dubuquers like their beer, you know that. But anyway, I want to talk to you about being overweight. Now, there's advantages to being overweight and there's disadvantages to being overweight. Now, some of the disadvantages are, like when I was in drum corps, I'm riding along on these long tours and buses. I was in the Colts. And we used to get really bored on these tours, you know, because, I mean, they're fun tours, but the bus rides get long. And for entertainment, they used to put me on the seat over the wheel well and watch me bounce. Yeah, like, oh, Dave bounced 4.5 times that time. That was a real big bump, you know. And then they got me a job in California working as a human Richter scale. So like every time there'd be an earthquake, just measure how many times I bounced up and down. Figured that was okay, you know. Got a little old, though. Got a little old. Well, when I was a kid, too, like I said, I was always heavy. My brother, Mark, he used to get into it. I mean, I haven't seen the guy for 4 or 5 years. He comes back from Hawaii after being in the service. First thing he says to me is, hey, Dave, looks like you're pregnant, about 36 months overdue. When's that baby going to drop, huh? Like, hey, thanks a lot, Mark, you know. But my brother, Paul, a little burp there. My brother, Paul, he's a good guy. He likes playing baseball when he's younger. I always wanted to be a pitcher, you know, a smart guy. I always, you know, love sports. He can tell you anything about sports you want to know. Now, Paul always wanted to be a pitcher. And one day he asked me to come on out and play some ball with him. Well, I found out his pitch back was broke, and that's what he wanted to use me for. Just stand there and let the ball come on me. Boom, boom, boom. Nice guy. I was the only kid in my neighborhood, though, that had tractor tires on my big wheel. Can you imagine that? My sister used to use my belly button for a Barbie doll swim pool. When I was in California, I tried surfing. Surfing's fun. I was riding these killer 2-foot waves, you know, something like you see from behind barges in Dubuque. But anyway, I'm out there surfing, having a good old time, and cruising along, and I fall off my surfboard, and all the other surfers love it because I make these big waves for them to ride in, you know. As I was surfing, though, there's this lifeguard out there, a guy, he's just sitting out there, and he called over this other guy. It happens the other guy was from SeaWorld. Well, this guy looks at the lifeguard and gets the bullhorn from him and says, "With the guy who owns the whale on the surfboard, please report to me." They wanted my act in SeaWorld for a while. I mean, thanks, guys. I lay on the beach, people want to throw harpoons at me or put water back on me. Go, oh, no. It's not good. Cut that last part. That was no good. Like I said, I grew up in Dubuque. I remember being a kid. The kids always say to me, fatty, fatty, 2x4, couldn't fit through the kitchen door. How do you think I got this big? I've been through that kitchen door a few too many times, I think. And then they used to say, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. How about TESTROSE wobbles, but they don't fall down? Nice kids, huh? Oh, I liked it, though. I remember when I was being a kid, I used to do some kid stuff, I guess. Everyone does it. They all get a little goofy or try pulling some stuff. We used to go down to St. Mary's, and they're playing bingo in the basement. Go down there, and they call up a couple of numbers and yell, bingo! You know you're in deep, serious trouble when an old lady comes walking out with her cane up like this in the air, ready to beat you. Oh, that was fun. Oh, I remember also being a kid going to a Catholic grade school. I imagine in Dubuque with a lot of Catholics. I went to the Catholic school for 8 years, a long time, St. Pat's. And I remember down there the BVMs. Now BVMs, it's not Blessed Virgin Mother, trust me. It's Black Velvet Monster, okay? I used to have this one teacher named Sister Rita Claire. I liked her. She's a gung-ho lady, you know. I used to tell her so many excuses. Now I just kind of laugh at them, you know. But one day she's writing at the blackboard, and I was ready to throw something at somebody's head. These nuns got secret powers, you know. They could see out of the back of their head. And she's like, I wouldn't throw that if I were you. And I was just like, just stretching my arm, sister. Just stretching my arm, you know. She bought it, but I don't think she really believed it. I remember also getting the virus shots in school. Teacher come up and say, hey, you got to go over and get your virus shot now. You go, that's going to hurt. And they go, no, it ain't. But all the kids are walking away doing this. You go to get your shot. Remember those drill guns? It's like Dad's Black & Decker 3/4-inch drill. You know? Next. It's like, right, I ain't going over there and getting those shots. But somehow you always got conned into it, you know? Oh, another part of fun was school, was high school. I went to Dubuque Senior. Used to have a teacher named Mr. Rundle. Mr. Rundle was my band teacher. I used to give him a hard time, and, you know, he's a good guy. I like him. He's probably watching this film, so I better watch it. But anyway, Mr. Rundle's middle name, our middle initial is G. Floyd G. Rundle. And I always thought the G stood for God, you know. Guy always knew when I was talking or chewing gum in band. One day he asked us to clean all the instruments up, you know, the drums and stuff. I'm cleaning around, I come over to the gong. This gong's about a 2-foot gong. And I'm thinking to myself, geez, this is just like one of those saucers we used to ride down the hills with when we were kids. So, it just happened to be 2 foot of snow outside. I get in this gong, my friends launch me. Boom, we go down this hill, over the first bump, over the second bump. You're cruising up over the pitcher's mound, into the dugout. Only took out 16 students on the way down, luckily. But anyway, I'm standing there, and I get up off the gong, and just so happens that God's looking out the window. Mr. TESTROSE, what are you doing? Like, cleaning the gong, sir? He didn't buy it too well. I heard Mr. Putinson, too. When I was a freshman, we used to have lots of conversations. Oh, lots and lots of conversations. I was in the dean's office a lot, and I heard every excuse told by a student that's ever possible. Now, I remember being in high school myself. I used to come up with a lot of excuses, but sitting around there, I realized this man's got to hear every excuse possible. There's no sense in telling him a lie. Tell him the truth, they'll probably let you go easy. Now, I remember when I was in high school, my grandmother died 6 times, and she was already dead, you know. But it seemed to work. I went to Washington. I wrote my own excuses. My handwriting was terrible. The teacher's like, David, there's some letters misspelled here. It's like, well, my mom wasn't wearing her glasses. Sorry about that, you know. She bought it. Maybe I'm a good con. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, I remember also being in high school. We could always buy the drugs. I better not do that. Skip that. Okay. Now what can I do? I want to talk to you a little bit about television right now. Now, television is funny. I mean, you got these old shows they're replaying all the time now. Now, like Little House on the Prairie. I don't know if you watch that or not, but I really don't care for that. I mean, they got a new tragedy every week. They got a blind daughter, kind of a goofy son, you know, and a nonprofit farm. Mike, I think it's time to get off that prairie, go to the city and get a real job. They should call that show A Little Outhouse in the Prairie instead. And what about Fame? Remember Fame at all? Leroy, all those guys? I mean, boy, what a neat show, huh? Here they are in the middle of New York. They decide to go for a walk, a guy and a girl by themselves. The only protection they got is his guitar on his back. Now they're walking down along the docks, 4 o'clock in the morning, New York City. No muggers around. Why would there be that in New York? He comes along this pier. Great big old crate there, like a stage. He jumps up on it and starts playing his guitar, and there's a light above him. Just perfect, you know, just happened to be there. And he's playing his guitar and jamming, and all of a sudden you hear violins. You hear horns, you hear drums. Now you know why he didn't get mugged. He's got 400 orchestra people following him around. Now if you're going to go on a date, that's the way to do it. And then what about the Dukes of Hazzard? What a neat show. Luke and Bo Duke. Boy, how'd you have a name like that, huh? Luke or Bo Duke. An amazing car. I think it squeal its tires on gravel. And those sheriffs, you know. This is supposed to be the fastest car around, but yet the sheriff's car can keep up to him. Hell, Grandma's old Rambler can keep up to him, you know. What I always get a kick out of them, too, is they jump over a bridge when after they hit a maple leaf. 40 feet in the air from hitting a leaf, come back down, don't even put a dent in the car. I hit a curb, it's all wrecked up, you know. It doesn't work that way, boys. And what about the Brady Bunch? Remember the Brady Bunch? Florence Henderson, now making chicken and Western Oil commercials. Now, the Brady Bunch was kind of funny. Greg would go out and blow up his car. And all the rest of them, Bobby and them, would take up a collection in their family and buy Greggy a new car. Now, if Davey blew up his car, it'd be tough luck, you know. It's your car. You do what you want. Now, I also got a big kick out of Family Affair. Jody, Buffy, Sissy, and Mr. French. What a neat family, huh? These people never fought. I like to see the Family Affair, Brady Bunch, put them on the Love Boat with the crew of the Love Boat, Gopher and Julie, send them over to Libya and say, Gaddafi, you want some Americans? Take these. We don't want them. Now what about the news? You folks ever watch the news much at all? Russia and their nuclear fallout? We never had a fallout. You guys did. I mean, we should stop the arms race. The arms race ain't helping anyway. Why don't we just let Russia build nuclear power plants all over the country? They'd blow themselves up. You hear now that nuclear fallout is traveling all over the U.S.? Can you imagine this now? Your kids are drinking their milk from a bowl of cereal, and the teacher says in the back a little note, your son has a healthy glow today. Oh, boy. That kind of scares me. I seen a guy, no kidding, a state car out behind my house on the Geiger counter. I was like, oh, boy, you know, my neighborhood's going to start glowing pretty soon. It'd be easy to find my way in the house when I'm drunk. That'd be great. I think we ought to take Libya over there and nuke them till they glow, then shoot them in the dark, you know. It'd probably be the best idea ever. It's one of Kirk Freese's lines. I like that, though. What else is there in the news? Let's see. Women against porno. I love women against porno. These girls are really homely. They got long blonde hair that's greasy like they haven't washed it for over a year. They got Coke bottle glasses on, little round ones like John Denver wears. They got a gap between your teeth you could drive a semi through. And you know why they're nagging about porno? Because they're too ugly to get into these magazines, and they're mad about it, you know? That would really be a gross sight, wouldn't it? Another thing that really irks me is on the news, people talking against violence on TV. Now, Dubuque's got 34 channels, right? There's a lot of channels. If you don't like one channel, get up and turn the button. Or if you can pay the extra $1 a month, get the remote control and turn that button. If you don't like the violence, you don't have to watch it. There's not people there with a gun to your head saying, watch that TV, but you know, I'm going to blow you away. Oh, that's pretty bad. Then they say TV is educational. That was for me. I learned a lot on TV. I learned how to do voices from cartoons. Used to make teachers mad, answer back to them in a cartoon voice. But who remembers Elmer Fudd at all? Did you know Elmer Fudd and Arnold Schwarzenegger are father and son? Serious. You seen Elmer Fudd? You seen Arnold Schwarzenegger? Now Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator, Savakana, I must kill you. Now did you see Elmer Fudd in the Terminator? Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting for a screwy human. Oh, I'd love to see that. And I go to the bars once in a while, and I see these girls in the bars, and every once in a while you get one of those little short ones with the short hair. It looks like a little Martian from that planet where Bugs Bunny always lands on, or Daffy Duck. You know the little Martian. The X-36 plutonium space actuator. Whoa, try that one over. The P-39 explosive space modulator. I could see one of these girls running around the bar. Want to go on a date? Like, no, get away from me, you know. Or how about Pete Puma? You better get me a horizontal lumps. Yeah. That guy? Oh, I'd love to see him like in school. This guy knew Carl. Teacher would say to him, how many more days do you need to do your assignment? Oh, you better give me about 3 or 4, you know. But all cartoons are good. Remember Beaky Buzzard? I'm gonna bring home a bumblebee. I had a friend Kevin remind me like him. He's got that big nose and skinny little guy. Anyway, I can see Kevin bringing home a date tonight, you know, to his mom's house. I'm gonna bring home a little date, you know. Oh, jeez. One of my other favorite cartoons is George and Lenny. George is my friend. Now, couldn't you see these guys trying to get a 12-pack from 7-Eleven? Now, wouldn't that be great? They're underage. He's going to get me a 12-pack, aren't you, George? Aren't you, George? Hey, shut up, Lenny. Keys, you know? You see guys like this in the bar. I'm serious. And you know who you always got in the bar? You got these tough guys. Tough guys like Jinx from those cartoons. You see these guys back there ready to fight somebody, and they're about as skinny as a rail. And they're going, well, I'm going to tear you measers to pieces, you know, just like Jinx does. Bar scene is funny. I don't know how many people ever hang out in the bar, but I work in the bar. And I like watching people dance, because you get a girl out there, 99.9% of all women know how to dance. I mean, they go out there and do that Madonna or Stevie Nicks stuff, and you get a guy out there, and only 0.9% of all guys know how to dance. I mean, you get a guy out there, a girl asks him to dance, and he's like, hey, this may be my chance, you know. So he goes out there and dances with her. He's doing this. He thinks he's really moving. The girl over there is doing all this stuff, and he's just moving back and forth. But now he's going to get a little daring. He's going to throw a head bob in there, you know. Ooh, that was tough. Now he's moving his arm a little bit. It's called dancing. Something really strange in Dubuque is all the girls dance with girls. I mean, this really irks. I'm a disc jockey, okay? And I see this a lot. Now, I see girls who go out there on the floor and dance with girls. Well, why don't these girls ask guys? I mean, just because a guy dances with you doesn't mean he's, you know, going to take you home and try to take an advantage of you or something, you know? Why do girls always go to the John together, too? It's always like a clump of girls that go to the bathroom together. I mean, if you want to pick up one of their friends, they come over and say, no, you can't take her home tonight, you know? It's like all their friends got their voices made up for them. The girls go to the bathroom, 6 of them got to go together. It's like, you know, they all go to the John together, and then they all come out together. It's like, what are they doing there? They have a little party, you know? Oh, this is the way to get away from the boys. The bar scene is funny. I check IDs, too. And you get the girl that comes in that weighs 700 pounds. And on her ID, it says she weighs 135. You know, it's like, well, I don't think this is you. I can't let you in. Now, checking IDs is funny, too, because you get a girl 5'6" that comes in with her ID. It says she's 6 foot. Now, this isn't right either, you know. It's like, well, if you keep shrinking at this rate, in about 3 years, you should be just totally disappeared, you know. And she's like, huh? And then you take the ID away from them, and they start crying. It's like, well, I need that ID back. I'm like, yeah, so you can get a bar busted, right? You know, they don't realize that we lose our jobs for 2 weeks if we get busted. Oh, another one of my favorite things about girls in bars is, do you ever notice this, guys? The difference between a fox and a pig? About 10 drinks. Do you ever hear that joke? But it's true. You go into a bar and you see a girl at the beginning of the night, you think, you know, she ain't that great. 3 or 4 more beers, and you're saying, she really ain't that bad either. You had yourself a 12-pack, and you're leaving out the door with her, you know? It's like, whoa, that scares me. I don't know. I never really woke up with many ugly women. I don't know why either. Fat girls turn me off, even though I'm a little overweight. Like, I don't know. Fat girls and spandex jeans just don't do it for me. Let's see here. 15 minutes left. I'm just trying to think of something else here. Should I talk about dating again? Okay. As you notice, like I said, I'm overweight. Now think about it, girls, if you wanted to date me. I mean, not just your average hunk, but 2, huh? Hey, not bad. If you go out with me, I can provide you with heat in the winter and shade in the summer. Isn't that a good deal? Now, like I said, I cook for my date once in a while. If any of you guys ever cook for your date, it's kind of interesting because, you know, if it's bad, they'll say it's really good just to be polite, you know. It's like, oh, okay. But my girlfriend, she'll be out of the hospital about 3 or 4 days. I cooked for her last night. Now, I like listening to girls because they always talk about the special K inch. I can pinch an inch. It's like, hey, the special K yard right there, okay? We're talking a lot of material around this sucker. And then I like dating because, dates are interesting. I remember the homecoming date. Took a girl on a date. And her dad, you know, and mom are sitting there ready with the old camera. You go to their house and you want to know who's more nervous, the girl or her parents. And it always seems to be the parents. Now, they pull you in 100 miles an hour by your arm. They got the old camera out and a whole box of film. They're snapping your picture 100 miles an hour. You could swear you're going to be in Time Life magazine next week. Now, their dad asked the question, what are you going to do tonight? So like, gee, sir, I guess we go to the Morocco and have our dinner, go to the dance, and go for moonlight driving. I'll have your daughter home by 2. And he says, no, I think you better have her home by 12. I said, 1. He said, okay. I said, oh, okay. So the first thing we do, drive over to Wisconsin, got ourselves a 12-pack of beer. She was on her 6th can, I was on my 1st, and don't know how this happened. And we decided we're going to go to the dance. We go to the dance, had a little fun there, dancing around, decided after that we're going to go do some parking. We're down in Moss Park. All of a sudden, we're just kissing a little bit. We hear, we're like, uh-oh, who's this? And there's a cop outside, Oshifer we'll call him. He's got this flashlight this long, burns this side of my face. Asked the smart question, what are you doing in there? It's like, well, gee, sir, we're talking. Homecoming got a little bit boring, so we decided to come down here. It's like, I think you best be moving on and hide those beer cans. Just go home. It's getting late. So we're like, oh, okay, big deal. So it's getting around midnight. We decide, well, we better get some fun in here, So we decided to go parking up at JD's grave. We're up there, and all of a sudden we hear, same cop, same bright flashlight, burns this side of my face this time. Asked the same question. What are you two doing up here? We're like, well, gee, sir, we're just necking. He's like, well, I think you better get your neck back in your pants and get the heck out of here, huh? It's like, okay, sir, But I remember one date, the county fair. I like the fair once in a while. I took this girl to the fair, hoping to get her scared in these rides. She'd hang on to me, I was a macho move, So I took her out to the fair, took her on all these scary rides. Took her on one I thought I would just scare her really bad. It didn't. Took her on another one. Didn't. So I took her on this third one. We're going up in the air, and she starts hanging on to me. She's scared of this one. Drops real fast, goes up again. This time I'm feeling a little weird in the stomach. Comes back down, threw up all over. Needless to say, that was the last date I had with this girl, too. So, oh, boy. Speaking of Ralphing in an amusement park, this is funny. My uncle was talking about one of those wet willies, the things you go around in, and you get sucked up against the wall, and the wall falls out. This guy across from my uncle had to lose it. He's going, he's just waiting for it to come out. My uncle's across him thinking, oh, no, I'm going to get splashed. I'm going to get splashed. The guy goes, ping, right back in his face. Nice mess. Got each guy on each side of him, too. I was like, ugh. I don't think I'd want to be in that ride after that. No good at all. Let's see. I really feel good today. God, I feel good today. You know why? Just got a little head. I know, you got to cut it out. So, what do you think of the look here today? This is Dubuque Vice. Of course, I'm Tubbs. Any of the shades, huh? They're really classy. Next time I go surfing on the Mississippi, I got to wear these things, Surfing on the Mississippi. Wouldn't that be great? It's like the mountains. They advertise Chestnut Mountain Lodge. Come see the beautiful Mississippi mountains. It's like, wow, there's mountains around here? I didn't know that. Jeez, where'd they come from? They must have came here overnight or something. I like camping. I don't know if you folks ever do much camping. Me and my friend Kevin went camping a little while ago. What was it? Backbone State Park. We're up there. It's raining out like crazy. My friend Kevin don't drink beer at the time. Now he's an alcoholic, but this time he didn't drink beer. But anyway, we're sitting there by the campfire. He decides he's going to crash, and it's raining. So I thought, well, hell, I got all this beer. I might as well sit out here and drink it. I'm from Dubuque, and Dubuquers love their beer no matter what. So I put a Krieg Brothers ice bag over my head, and I wore a raincoat, and I sat out there till 2 in the morning drinking cans of Old Style, looking for the frog on the can. You're drunk when you start looking for the frog on the can. Oh, but camping, diehard campers are funny because when we woke up and it was raining so hard, there was a river underneath us. I mean, big time. It was like a little bit muddy, but we still had our fun. Then we went trout fishing. Kevin here's got himself a fly pole. Thinks he's going to go out there and catch himself some trout. We're standing here by this hole. I go, you ought to fish right there. So he's trying to fish it. He ain't catching nothing. All of a sudden his line gets tangled up. This guy comes over and he goes, try right there yet? Cast in there, pulls in 2 trout. We're like, hey, good luck there, huh? Oh, let's see. I forgot New Kids Are Different, didn't I? Oh, well. Okay, let's do harmonicas, that's it. Well, I'm going to show you folks now how to play the harmonica. Now, I'm going to start here by jamming a little bit. Now, harmonica can be taken many different ways. I mean, it could be played simple, like Swanee River. Big deal. Or you could play it like... kind of bluesy. Now, myself, I like to play the rough way. I want to do a little bit of jamming here for you, and I want you, if you're at home watching me, sit around and clap your hands, and all your neighbors will think you're crazy, okay? Oh, got a booger in there. Yeah. Yeah, Mom, I make money playing the harmonica with my nose, you know. I'm sure you can really enjoy that. Well, you get those boogers in there, and they really stick them reeds. Now, you see me play the harmonica with my mouth and with my nose. But now, I'm going to play the harmonica with my mouth and my nose at the same time. Yes, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. This is a two-sided harp. It's got the key of G and the key of C. I'm going to play both sides for you, a little bit of polka music. I screwed that up. We'll do that over. Think I got time? Okay. Now this. Okay. Now this is going to be my two-sided harp. You see me play in the mouth of my. Or this is my two-sided harp. Take that over. 1, 2, 3. This is my two-sided echo harp. You see me play the harmonica with my nose. You see me play it with my mouth. I'm going to attempt to play it with both my mouth and my nose at the same time. Yes, some people get off on this. Solo time. Yeah, fun stuff, huh? Well, that's about it for me. I just did a little show here for you. I want you to come on out sometime and see me, or if I'm playing around Dubuque. Or if you happen to be in Lake Okoboji, I'll be up there with Jim Wan for 1 week, the 23rd to the 28th. So if you get a chance, come on up and see me anywhere. Okay, well, let's talk about cartoons. Cartoons are funny. I like cartoons. Cartoons today aren't good. I mean, the Jetsons they're showing nowadays. You know, I like to watch the Jetsons, but they're showing the new ones nowadays. And George just ain't as cool as he used to be. It's basically Sprockets. The original ones were a lot better. One of my favorite ones is the Flintstones. What gets me is why Fred never changes his clothes. You know, I mean, Fred, those clothes must stink after a while, huh? And then what about them feet, Fred? That guy can run 80 miles an hour with his feet, lock up the brakes with his feet on the bare pavement with bare feet and not even bleed. That's pretty amazing, I think. What about Scooby-Doo? Who watches Scooby-Doo? Now, why do those kids always go around the country solving mysteries? Where do they get their money? Don't they have parents? If they do, aren't their parents worried about them? And then what about school? I mean, don't these kids go to school at all? Now, why are they always afraid of the monster who runs around and sounds like he hasn't gone to the bathroom for 3 weeks? And what does the word zoiks mean? Does zoiks mean shit? Zoik, Scooby, there's a ghost. Shit, Scooby, there's a ghost. Wouldn't that be much more effective? I think it would be. Now, what about Warner Brother cartoons? You ever watch those at all? Warner Brothers are my favorite. Bugs Bunny, I love Bugs Bunny. I can't do him very well, but one of my other favorite ones is Elmer Fudd. Do you know Elmer Fudd and Arnold Schwarzenegger are father and son? Serious. I mean, you've seen Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. Say Wakana, I must kill you. Could you see Elmer Fudd in there? Be very, very quiet. I'm looking for a Scooby human. I can see it. I like to see Elmer Fudd singing songs, too. Like, geez, what could he sing? Something from Van Halen or AC/DC, you know? You shook me all night long. Wouldn't he be great doing that? How about country? Elmer does country. That's a good country song. Ghost riders on the storm. I can see it. What about Pete Puma? Who remembers Pete Puma at all? Better give me a whole lot of lumps, that guy. I like him because he was always kind of funny. Like, he used to have this guy at school named Carl reminded me of Pete. This is no kidding. He had the big jaw, the receding jaw and everything, and he was about as smart as a box of rocks. But Pete was always like, "Well, you better give me 3 or 4 lumps of my coffee," you know, and then he'd always say, get bumped on the head, you know. And Carl, I think, had too many bumps on his head, too, because during our class, the teacher would be like, "Carl, how many more days do you need to do your assignment?" You better give me about 3 or 4. Smart guy. First day I met him, he said, I was out in the street watching cars go by. I was like, interesting hobby, Carl. And then another one of my favorite cartoons are, I'm going to do the cartoon one over. Is that all right with you? Okay. Am I doing all right? Am I doing all right? Okay. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cartoons. Cartoons are fun. Now, Fred Flintstone was cool. Think about it. The guy could run 80 miles an hour with his feet and stop with those same feet and not even bleed. What about those clothes, Fred, Barney, Wilma, and Betty? Those things are getting a little old. You ladies especially should know you got to change your clothes, you know? And what about Scooby-Doo? I mean, that's been on for years now. I can't believe that. Let's see, I'm 23. Yeah, I'm old. I'm just going through puberty. You can see on my lip here. But anyway, now that's old. That's got to be at least 10 years old. Scooby-Doo now. Where do these kids get their money to go all around the country solving mysteries, you know? Like, why do they go all around doing this? And why do they always run away from a monster when it always turns out to be a human being? Isn't this true, though? And he always sounds like he hasn't gone to the bathroom for a while. You know? Doesn't make much sense. And what does the word zoiks mean? Does zoiks mean shit? I mean, could you see it? Zoik Scooby, there's a ghost. Shit Scooby, there's a ghost. I think that'd be just a little bit more effective. Oh, then what about Warner Brother cartoons? Who remembers Warner Brothers at all? Now, Warner Brothers are my favorite. Well, the Little Martian. You guys remember the Little Martian? He's the little guy that always goes after Daffy Duck or Bugs Bunny. Oh, my P-36 exploding space modulator has been stolen. I'd like to see this guy in Earth someday, especially after I came out of a bar. Some of the people I go to bars with look like that. Oh, and then one of my other favorites is Pete Puma. You better give me a whole lot of lumps. That guy? Now, I remember this kid at school even laughed like him. Carl. He's a funny guy. I don't want to say his last name because he knows who he is, kind of.